It's your girl. It's Gabby. It's Gabby, the realtor, the realtor. Okay, so let me stop being silly. Now, this is part two of my condos versus co-ops video. So really quick, running through it just so that you get the gist of the difference between condos and co-ops. So this is co-ops video. So now, when I mentioned with condos, what you would be doing is purchasing the apartment. With a co-op, on the other hand, you are purchasing shares, not the actual apartment. So it's shares in the corporation, which is the building, right? So you would also have shares in the common spaces, the common areas as well. So it's very different in that way, but still an investment, right? So, and instead of at closing, which typically is longer, it's a longer process than with condos. It takes maybe 3 to 4 months, could be longer. It all depends on certain things. But at the end of it, at closing, you would be getting, once you've paid it off, you would be getting a proprietary lease, not a deed, right? Another thing is that when it comes to financing, the minimum down payment that is required for you to basically put down is 20% versus the 10% in a condo. So you have to put down much more, double what a condo requires. But the price is so much less in terms of the mortgage. Like let's just say like you would see a condo that costs 800,000 and the co-op that's similar in like size and stuff would be maybe 3. Like it's that big of a difference. So it all depends on what location. All these different things are factors, but I just mean like I've seen that vast of a difference between condos and co-ops. So that's just something to keep in mind. When it comes to renovations, you have to run it by the board. There's a board, there's an interview, the application process. You have to go through all of that. So it's not just a quick clean, oh, it doesn't matter. They have to approve you in order to actually purchase those shares in the unit, in the building, the corporation, as I mentioned before. Sorry, I don't want to get you all confused. And then when it comes to monthly charges, that is based on the number of shares that you have in the building, which often is based on the size of the apartment or the unit that you're going to be living in. So your shares is really based on the square footage, but nothing else is. In terms of your taxes, you're still going to be paying property taxes, but it's going to be rolled into your maintenance fees. So your maintenance fees could be quite high in comparison to condos. So that's a big difference as well, because with condos, the maintenance fees and the property tax could even be lower than the maintenance fees alone on a co-op. So keep that in mind. There are things that are just way more expensive, even though the mortgage itself is a lot lower. And when it comes to subletting, it's usually not allowed in a co-op. Condos, free will. Co-ops, not always. You may be able to in some situations if you approach the board, but a harder time in terms of getting subletting done. Okay, and we'll have another video defining all these things as well if you don't know what that is. And then when it comes to selling, you don't get to just sell at will. Your selling is subject to selling taxes as well as board restrictions, because they ultimately determine who things are sold to. Just like when you're trying to apply, they determine whether or not you will be allowed to live in that building. So there's more restrictions, there's a board package, a whole lot of things to put together when it comes to co-ops. The process is a lot longer, but the mortgage is smaller while the maintenance fees are higher and the down payment is higher. So keep those things in mind. Either way, it's an investment. It's still a really great thing to look into. And we'll talk about all the preparations as well in another video in terms of what things you should really be doing when you're ready to buy a house. Because again, the time is now. Okay, so I'm so glad you joined me for this video. Love you guys. Mwah. I will see you in the next episode.